Welcome to WIP Wednesday. My name is Marcy. I run Bad Sheep Yarn, which is a hand-dyed yarn studio, and this is a craftery, if you will, a craft diary, where I go through all of the things that I have left unfinished, but I'm trying to finish them before I start a bunch of other new projects. Technically, I did break the rules last week because I started a new project that is not at all anything. It's not at all anything that I had laying around. But if you go ahead and watch the video back, I did tell myself that I would finish everything else that I was working on and kind of stuck on a little bit before I started something new. And I've added this to my WIP total. So I started with 13. I got everything down to 10, and then I added this back, which means I'm at 11. But this week I finished 3 projects, so whatever 11 minus 3 is, that's where I'm at today. First on the list, I finished my Over the Rainbow pillow. This is by Pam Powers Knits, and I got this as a kit at a yarn shop a couple years ago, and I finally finished it. I used some of the scrap yarn and made little pom-poms. The pom-poms are not perfect, but I love them so much, and I'm so glad I added them. It needed the pom-poms. This is it. It's a finished object. I got all the fluff, I stuffed it, I seamed in all the ends, and this pillow is already super well loved in my house. Next on the list was I finished something that was just so boring to me. This is a shawl pattern that I made up. I finished it. This uses almost 2 skeins of yarn. I was considering adding tassels to the points. I still might do that, but I finished it, I blocked it, and I was like, I actually really like it. Last week I wasn't sure if I wanted a border or not. I did do a border. I just made it up. I felt like it followed some of the increases I was doing. So I'll just tell everyone how I made this pattern. The whole premise of it was I started it probably a year and a half ago when we were going back home to visit family. I knew I was going to have a lot of conversations, but I didn't really want to follow a very strict pattern because I knew I would lose track. The other thing was I really love garter stitch shawls with variegated yarn. But at some point you have to start counting those stitches, so I thought, you know what, I know the basics of building a shawl for knitting, so I'm just going to get started and then we'll see where I go from there. So I started by making a garter tab cast on, which I really like that cast on, and then I kept increasing just about every other row I did. So I would knit 2, yarn over, and then I would knit some spaces, and then I would yarn over, knit 2, yarn over, keep knitting till 3 rows before the end, or 2 stitches before the end. Sorry, not 3 rows, 2 stitches before the end. I would yarn over and then knit 2 together, and then my other side I would just knit the entire time. So this is it. This is the finished product, and the way that I ended it was I just knit 2, yarn over, knit 2 together until the very end. And then at the end, if my stitch count was off, I just made something up. So anyway, this is out of our colorway Home. I love this. I'll wear it quite a bit. This is the perfect shawl size for me. And I'm really glad that I stuck with it and I finished it because I like it and I'll get a lot of wear out of this. And then my very last project are these Comfort Core socks by Summerly Knits. I used one of our limited edition colorways, Aqua Aerobics, with another one of our fingering weight minis, Hibiscus Sorbet, for the toes and the little cuff stripes. And I just love them. I'm gonna block them. Sometimes I block socks sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, honestly, but I'm trying to be better. Sometimes I block socks, just lay them out on a towel, but these ones, I have a bunch of sock blockers and I just think they're cute, so I'm gonna do those. So you do just a wet block where you soak your garment in wool wash, and then you just press out as much water as you can gently, and then you just slip it on and it blocks just like that. So I don't remember where I got these sock blockers. I've had them for a while. I think I actually got them at the yarn shop that was open when we lived in Alaska. But cute. So those are the finished projects, the FOs, finished objects from last week. And then because I finished them, well, technically I still have to block this, but because I finished them, I decided that yes, I could make a new project. I went and I searched for a little while, and I asked my sister what her opinions were, of course, and I finally decided on the Leela top by the designer Caidree. And so I'm cast on. I wound it all by hand. Some of it's coming undone. This is the Nature of Silk. This is our 100% mulberry silk yarn, and it's in our limited colorway traffic cone, and because it's limited, I just had to start right now. So I just cast that on and started. I only have about an hour of knitting here because once again I was talking to someone, and then I was talking to someone and then I lost track of where I was. So I have to go back and count some rows and figure out a better system for me for keeping track of my knitting while I'm talking. But I did it. So where do we go from here? Other than continuing to work on this new tee that I did, the Leela tee, my plan is to get a little crochet in my life. I'm such a newbie at it, but I would really like to broaden my horizons. I would really like to try a Tunisian crochet. I'd like to try some mosaic crochet. But before I do that, I have to finish my crochet projects. So I have some that I started for very basic things. I have been trying to make this really, really cute little garland out of all these little hearts. I have so many out of our colorway Fireweed. Like, I have the needle in here, so many little hearts. They're so cute, and I just want to string them all up and make them and hang them in my house. It doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day. I just want them showering us all with love somewhere. And then on top of that, I have all of these granny squares that I started making. This was when I was really, really learning crochet, so my tension is off in a lot of them. They really need to be blocked so badly, but I love these color combinations. It's really like purple and black, and I used several different colors out of worsted weight to make them. They're pretty all over the place, but that's all right. I still love them, and I was going to do a pillow cover with them, but I think one of the main reasons why I didn't finish the project or didn't keep going was because my house is not really dark, moody color decorations. Even though I love them and I love that pillow design, it's not necessarily something that I would like have on my couch because it doesn't match. But they are colors that I wear a lot, especially in the winter. So what I'm thinking about doing is stringing them all together and making a scarf out of them, just because I don't have enough yarn to make a cardigan. And they're also different sizes because I was just learning and didn't know what I was doing and didn't have a very consistent tension. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna weave in all the ends, lay them all out, see if I can block them all together. The other thing is they're all kind of scattered all over my house. I just found one the other day in a random place and I was like, I need to put those with the rest of them. So I've got to find them, lay them all out, and then piece them all together. And I think I'm gonna make myself a scarf and put some tassels on it because I love that idea. So just a really cute, basic granny square patchwork long scarf. I love that idea, and I love the idea of wearing that. Then the other thing that I'm going to do is start picking up and working again on my Leah's lace shawl. This is a knit shawl. I want to go from crochet into more crochet, but I'm sticking with my stuff. I already broke the rules once. So I'm working on this Leah's Lace crochet shawl. I'm finished with this lace portion and I have to go on to my next stripey side. This is a little bit of a work project. It's a pattern that's available on our website. It's been up for a long time. The pattern is beautiful, but some of the colorways used in our sample are older. So I kind of want to give it a little, I want to make a sample with some stuff that we have. So I'm using these colorways. This one is Lotus from our website. This one's Garnet, which is our January birthstone. And this one's Vintage Champagne. And it just makes a really nice botanical set. So that's my goal. We'll see where we're at next week. I think I've started a pretty common trend with having a couple of projects that I can finish really quickly, and then a few projects that might take me a little bit longer. And it all just depends on how much time I have in the week to work on stuff. But anyways, that's it for this week's WIP Wednesday, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.